Arise, minions! I was muted. That's how we start the show. Welcome to unMadeGaming, where I start the shows muted. We're here for another episode of Blaze of Glory 2 Electric Boogaloo, or Cosmic Boogaloo. That's actually the name of next season. There is a season 2, turns out. Coming soon. You guys heard it here first. That being said, we are here for episode 6 of Blaze of Glory? Pretty sure. Yep. Nailed it. That being said, we're going to jump into space nonsense. But first, if you guys want to support the channel, please go check out our Patreon. If you guys want to join our conversation, please go check out our Discord and join us and have a good time. Turn this over to Johnny to do a recap and get into some space shenanigans. Can't wait.
Apparently we were unmuted during the intro. That's funny.
Well.
All right.
It gets chopped anyway.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay. Previously on Blaze of Glory Holes, Levi is hungover. Levi's been on a bender in a pleasure house. And it's time for his buddy Len to deliver on that contact info for the next job. While making his way back to the Glory, he's held up by some mysterious person who calls herself Darla. Darla apparently works for the Starless Veil, some shadowy counter-espionage organization hell-bent on staying quiet and causing trouble for a certain noble house. But as Darla tries her intimidation tactics, Levi shrugs. He hacks her credentials and makes her a little squeamish. Needless to say, he gets the gig and Darla walks away, canceling her credit cards. Lynn's call comes in and confirms exactly what Darla said it would be. The crew has delivered the cube to an elusive member of House Malcleth. They're to meet at a local bar on the Cove, the elusive, lawless pirate space station. When they get there, the contact is supposed to find them and make the trade. To get there, though, they need to navigate deep into the heart of the Ashtari Cloud. The Ashtari Cloud is a nebula created by a mishap on an Ur ship. It's hard to navigate. So traveling through there is normal proportion only works minimally, and navigating it requires special equipment to compensate for the cloud's interference. So between Levi's hacking something together and Fitzy using some space mumbo jumbo, of course, the crew gets the Glory to the Cove without the Maelstrom pirates even being alerted. Jerks. Getting onto the Cove, though, proved a little challenging, so Switch decided to drop an old smuggler friend's name who was in good standing with the Maelstrom pirates. Access to the station granted, the crew make their way to the meeting point, an old hangout of Levi's known as the Screw This. When they arrive, posturing and drinks ensue as the crew gets its first taste of Cove hospitality. Taking in the scene, it looks like any other wretched hive of Scum and Villainy. The revelry doesn't get to last long, though, as Ren, the name-dropped contact of Switch, makes an appearance. She's pissed. She's a person in power now. She doesn't appreciate Switch abusing her friendship. So as she makes a point so that they understand the trouble that they're in, the crew is facing 4 armed pirates who are about to take them to see the Banshee, the pirate queen of the Cove, as we fade in. Did you really just say that in chat, Mike?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
This is the guy's Scum and Villainy. It's the name of the game.
All right, so as we fade in, as we fade in, there are 4 armed, what look like vaguely uniformed, because the uniforms for pirates really don't kind of amount to anything except whatever the pirates seem to throw together. But these guys are wearing at least coats that look similar to indicate that they are something official. Sorry. Sorry, guys. So as they're walking forward, the blaster's out, moving in. Rin is kind of looking over at Switch and just kind of shaking her head. Banshee's not going to be pleased with you.
Look, I don't know what I could have possibly done to the Banshee. I'm just here for a little delivery, doing some business at your fine establishment here in the Cove.
Oh, is there anyone that you know that you haven't pissed off yet?
No. Look, me and Rin go way back. I'm sure we can get this worked out. Look, I wouldn't want to have a tussle on your place of business. And I'm just trying to bring customers here. When I do business here, people spend money here. It's all good for you. It's good for the Banshee. There we go.
Wait a second. Are you suggesting that if she doesn't do what you say, then you're gonna tussle?
No, I'm not going to shoot anyone yet.
Tussle.
Just for shite's sake, I'd love to see you tussle. I haven't seen you throw a fist in ever.
I don't do that. I shoot people. I got grenades and stuff. Look, that's not what we're talking about right now. I'm dealing with somebody.
Sorry, I just got excited at the idea of you physically fighting anyone.
So
I'll take another one of those drinks, please.
look,
Rin is looking at her tablet, kind of doing stuff and looking back and forth at the two of you. And when it looks like there's an obvious break, she looks at you again, Switch, and says, "Are you done?" Because they don't have a lot of time. They need to go on and actually do something else because they actually have real jobs.
well, then why are you not letting them move on? I'm clearly not a danger to anyone. We don't need 4 armed guards here, Rin. We're friends.
Blasters are definitely beginning to rise and being more pointed at your head. As one of them, 3 blasters are like, pointed at you, towards you, and just like one of them is just like, kind of nodding for you to follow them.
Oh yeah, like Switch is gonna follow along, but he's gonna very much act the whole time like very nonchalant and like, actually I think as like he like follows along, he looks at the one who like did the little like nudge thing. He's like, you're very tough. I think you're going places. You're doing a good job. I can tell. Just walks on.
Rin,
Like,
as
can the boys come with me or?
Oh no, I think we have to stay here.
no, I don't think so. You don't seem to understand. The 4 of you are going to go see the Pirate Queen.
Okay, of course. Look,
What did I do?
it's all okay. I'm sure she just wants to talk business. We'll get it worked out. Don't worry. It's okay.
You know what? Fine. 1 second. Can I take just like a to-go cup of the whatever the shit you made before that you laughed at us when we couldn't drink it?
The wrecking ball.
Like a wrecking ball. Thank you. Just like 2 to-go cups, if you could. Just with like a little. That's no lid. That's fine. Yep.
Well, they're in
Trixie hands you a bottle.
Oh, shite! It comes in bottles. I thought you were mixing it. Oh, fuck you, space ghost. And he just sort of like, boom, he puts it. He has like a flask holder that he just sort of jams it in. All right.
All right, wait.
I'll share it.
Johnny, what time are we supposed to meet these people?
No time was specified. You know that the contact was actually going to reach out to you.
Oh, okay. Well,
But no information was actually given to you about. But you were supposed to meet them here at the Screw This, and that they would reach out to you. But no other information was given.
Oh, I thought we were on the time limit. Well, no one's gotten a hold of us yet, so I'll gladly go talk to the Banshee of Queens.
Look, no business happens here without the Banshee knowing anyway, Levi. We gotta play by her rules. It's okay.
Well, I'm familiar. I'm not arguing. But at the same time, I might be hacking Ring's tablet. Because I'm curious on what she's writing about.
That's so good.
All right. So, how are you doing this nonchalantly? Because I'm imagining you're trying to do this while she's doing her thing, and you guys are all just going
So
along.
imagine the tablet's on the table, and I'm very much talking with my hand. I say, "Oh, we'll go with you all the time," and my hand will come down and hit like a key, and be like, "Oh, and and then like just be kind of like hitting things at the same, and I'll be like talking, hitting the table, but I'm really typing the tablet, but it just looks like I'm hitting the table.
Okay, so it still sounds like there's an element of risk here that she could discover what's going on. Totally. So,
Yeah.
All right, we'll call the position risky. What is the effect here? What ultimately are you trying to do? Is it just you're trying to figure out what she's doing, or are you trying to get more than that?
I'm just trying to figure out what she's doing. I feel like if I get more than that, I'm going to get in more trouble.
Okay, so it feels like it's a limited sort of situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
No.
Does anybody else think that they can actually offer you an assist here?
Can I be assisting by like all of like the fact that Switch is just like taking up all the air in the room and like drawing so much attention to himself?
Okay, yeah, sure. Take that stress, buddy. You're totally gonna do that. I have a question. Is this a normal sort of business practice between Switch and Levi? Is this something that you guys have like done before, kind of a thing?
Yeah, it seems like it.
All right, then I think the position or the effect definitely deserves to be normal. Because if this is a regular business practice or the regular tactic, then yeah, you guys deserve a little bit more information if it comes up.
Okay.
It seems like it makes sense to me that like the go-to is Switch is the distraction and Levi like does the thing. So basically you're Star-Lord and he's Rocket.
Yeah. What was that one movie where it was Slackers? It's like if you only saw two of us, the other one was rifling through your shit. So that's what I feel like. Is like if you don't see Levi actively or paying attention to Levi, he's like, oh, this is.
All right, roll it.
4, 1, 3, 3.
4 is okay. Partial success.
4 is a success. There's got to be a complication coming out of this. So I'm going to describe the success. And then if anybody can think of a complication by the time I end the success, we'll add that in. Otherwise, I will introduce it as I think about it. Levi, you're just like, you're doing this, right, in the conversation, and Ren is getting a lot more pissed, and Switch is just really distracting the hell out of her. But between her and the 4 guards, and they're trying to get the 4 pirate guards are trying to get you moving, and Switch is just like acting as a distraction, and Fitzy is just trying to get as much alcohol, and I'm not really sure what Sally's doing, but Sally is probably just observing it all with some mild.
Like, yeah,
she's counting the new customers she's gonna get.
And so as Switch is doing that,
dealing drugs to the guards, that's what I want to think.
Oh yes, that would be so good.
So as you're kind of typing and doing it, you get you kind of get the a couple of like screenshots of what she's doing. You get the tablets. I take some automatic screenshots and kind of send it to you. First thing that you notice is that she's working on 3 different things. First one is she's got some sort of chat going on with somebody who you can't identify upon first glance. The second thing that she's got going on is she's got a shipping manifest indicating a couple of what looked like appearing to be legitimate shipments coming to the Cove.
Okay.
Everything that you know about the operation at the Cove and the Maelstrom Pirates, this is unusual.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing is there's a bunch of data about something called the Straylight. It is plans for the location that it is, its orbital patterns, its schedule, all of that. It just kind of like it's just like a quick like sort of like blurb of like information there that you can't get like a real good sense of it. Second screenshot you get is the actual chat, and it really all it is Ren communicating with somebody who appears to be her partner, but the name is sort of like, kind of it's still not really clear who she's actually talking to, just based on the way that the chat is going. Mm-hmm. But it's clear that she's really annoyed with Switch, and she does not like the fact that he's come back. She owes him some money, and it's just not like a good situation, kind of a thing.
She owes Switch money?
She owes Switch some money. And she wasn't expecting him to show up to pay for it or have to pay for it. The third thing that you get is an actual screenshot of the plans of the thing called the Straylight. But it's like a full sort of diagram of one level of it.
Okay.
Anybody think of a complication that should come into this?
I actually do have an idea.
Okay.
Because Levi was like right before this hack. Levi has been messing with what's it called? The spy people.
The Starless Veil.
The Starless Veil.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if like either basically them or somebody basically somebody malicious whose radar Levi would have gotten on for looking at them gets essentially let in by the door that Levi opens.
I was going to say that, or Siri says something out loud of like, that was a bad hack.
It's like, oh, you fucked up right there.
You should do it like this. And like, we're all like talking. And so I don't know. I dealer's choice on that one.
I like Sam's idea a lot. I think that I want there to be a little bit more of a consequence situation, like a more extreme situation to come up, rather than this sort of like one-off hack. But I'm going to keep that in my hat and come back to it because I think it's a great idea. Because there's already somebody on everybody's radar that is out to gun for Levi anyway, so it makes complete sense.
Well, it's like, so he hacks into the tablet, right, and he goes to leave and close the back door of the rootkit that he just made, and for whatever reason he can't close the rootkit. So you now know there's an open access panel or open access to that kit, like to that that tablet, but you can't close it. So now anyone can get in there.
Oh, I hope she doesn't have nudie pics on there.
I sort of hope it's on the iCloud.
So that was one of my original thoughts about what the information that you got, but I thought that was a little too tasteless.
For this show?
Yeah, really?
For the SS Glory Hole?
The SS Glory Hole 2, Cosmic Book. Right.
I swear to God.
So, actually, both things happen, I think, actually, because I think that completely makes sense. Because what happens is, so Levi, you're just kind of doing this, and at some point, she's so distracted, you just kind of pick up the tablet and you just finish it off, right? Mm-hmm. And so as you're kind of doing that, you get all that information.
I'm so sorry. She has nudes, but it's switched.
That's so good.
You're just going through, you're like, oh, this is a great, oh, shite. Back it up.
I'm gonna have to fucking wipe my tablet now.
Oh, I'm back. We're fine.
That's so bad.
I feel like that's so appropriate.
All three of those things. Because as you're flipping through, you're flipping through your tablet. The last screenshot.
Organ right now, Jesus.
So as you're flipping through, the last screenshot is that of a couple of nudes of like some compromising positions of Switch and Ren.
They're very tasteful.
It's paint me like your French girl.
What's tasteful? No, okay, wait a minute. Switch, you just okay.
How did he put his legs above his head? Fuck.
Explain to me how they're tasteful. I gotta know.
Fucking
it's like that scene from Titanic.
It's the one. No, it's the one. It's like the Burt Reynolds photo.
Yes, the '80s dad pose.
And it's done in the engine room.
Yeah, it's very obvious. Somewhere on the ship.
It's in the Blades of Glory. So it's like in your engine room. You're like, shit.
Wait.
That's my cut.
Oh my God, this is horrible. All right. So you flip through, you see that, you're just like, and you slam down on to delete that picture. What happens instead of you actually deleting that picture is not only do you make it your desktop of your tablet, you then you mistakenly navigate and try to close the connection, but you hit the wrong script. And it leaves that sort of like that back door open and exposed. You're not realizing it because you're trying to get the thing desperately off. And that's when Siri says, for everyone to be able to hear, that was a terrible hack. At which point Ren goes, what?
You guys gonna let Johnny get away with that?
Double failure.
How many double failures happened?
Okay.
You guys, we're just gonna slide by on you. You left that back door open, exposed. We're just gonna let that one go.
Yeah. Well,
might as well just add those pictures are leaking all over the internet now.
Look, stop getting things from chat. All right.
So Switch is going to be like, well, he was trying to hack the people that we stole from last time, and of course, Siri's always talking shit. You've been around that asshole droid before, I think, Kevin. You met that droid before. Anyway, we were trying to hack the people who we just did a job on and get a little bit more from them. Data's very valuable in this market these days.
Also, quick question, Johnny. Does Rin owe Switch money or?
Ren does owe Switch money.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, look, we're always running a lot of jobs at the same time, Rin. You should know. I got a lot of balls in the air.
Levi's vividly pissed off.
Rin looks from
That's
Levi.
an actual expression, Mike.
Rin looks at Levi, looks back to Switch, and says, I don't care. Just you put yourself in a position here by dropping my name. You've gotten on the attention of the Banshee. You need to go talk to her. All right?
We weren't arguing.
She says she gives you the ability. It's pirate law here. They follow the code.
It's more like suggestions than actual rules, though.
Sadly, no. The Banshee has started making them all look like actual laws.
Well, you know how I've always been about law.
I go up to Switch and I kind of have my back towards her and whisper in his ear. I was like, "Oh, something's really up, and I think we should really go."
All right, look, we got it. That we.
I have a question. Levi, I think on
yes.
this. How many is too many of the wrecking balls? They laughed when we had one, and it was like a test.
Well, if you have two...
I'm at far. And I haven't touched the bottle yet. You left yours half drunk on the table, so I just got
That
barred.
wasn't mine.
Well, sorry.
I think this is all happening. We're just being led by armed guards.
You're being slowly let out of the screw this. And the last thing, as Fitzy is saying this, you hear loudly coming from the bartender, Trixie, damn space virgins. And we're going to cut to...
I'll fight the entire establishment! You fucking shite!
He can't feel his legs right now. Here, we're just helping him out.
He's
So
like noodle limbs.
So as you, the four of you were being led by the four sort of pirate guard, Rin gets to a certain point and kind of stops and kind of turns and says, all right, well, they're going to take you the rest of the way. I've got some other things to do. Thanks for taking up my time, Switch. You know that money I owe you? I'm going to have to dock it a little bit. Maybe, kind of reduce the interest or something because you keep wasting my time and my money and my ability to be able to pay you back.
Look, I really do wish that things were simpler, but you're the one bringing the guards. I was just trying to do a little business, bring jobs and wealth to your community. But, far be it from me.
When have you ever been a job creator? Seriously, when have you...
Technically, I hired him.
Hired who?
Hey, technically, I think I just wandered on your ship one day.
If I was a betting man,
you are.
It would sound like that she didn't have your money and she's just using this as an excuse to pay you less.
Yeah, it really does sound like that. But let's go talk to this pirate queen first. We'll get the lay of these new laws that I'm going to have to break later down the line, but we'll figure it out. So it's all good. See you later, Rin.
Who hires space virgins? And she leaves.
Oi!
Look, don't worry. They're sleeping on you. I've seen you. You punch good. Don't worry.
It's not the punching thing I'm worried about. It's the rest of it. You gotta stop telling everyone.
I didn't tell anyone anything.
Listen, I'm gonna tell everyone that you saw my space ghost and then you're a space virgin too.
They won't believe that.
Oh, I'm gonna put it on the space internet.
Oh, you really should not talk to anyone else about this imaginary ghost that you've been
It's
seeing.
not. I swear, I'm gonna.
Is there
figure it out.
still like 37 of them around here for you?
Multiples of 2 times 2, then 4, then 8, then 16, then 32, and then I think we stopped at 32. And I told them only to talk at once.
33.
Oh, right, there was one more, 33.
I have a question for Fitzy.
Yep.
Does he carry an electronic device like a tablet or a cell phone?
I don't think so, to be honest.
He has no sort of like ability to receive technical communication.
No, he looks like a homeless monk, right? He looks like a space Jedi. I mean, a space wizard. Not a Jedi at all. That's copyright infringement. He looks like a space wizard. Yeah, he carries nothing. No blaster, no anything else. He just carries, like, a holy symbol, like the garb of a space wizard. And
So you're just dreadful pain in the ass to get in contact with.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Fitzy doesn't want to be in contact with anybody. Which is why he doesn't really go off on his own either. But Fitzy has a lot of not friends, we'll call them, in the universe. And he's got several not friends in very high places. So he's not looking to be found.
Fair.
So as the four of you are kind of wandering, and the two sort of pirate guards are in front, are taking you to the station. It's a long journey because you guys are on one of the peripheral sort of like appendage arms of of the cove, like taking you back to sort of like the center proper kind of an area. You hear for a minute, like next to you, Levi, you hear boop, 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 coming from Siri. And she's like, it sounds like she's sort of humming and just kind of like, like doing her thing. And she's kind of floating along with you. And then Switch, as you're getting closer, you're getting really close to sort of the center of the air, the sort of the station. Yeah, you get a notification on your device, whatever your communication device, and it's just like you pull it up and you kind of look at it, and it says, "Show this to Fitzy."
Well, first off, out of curiosity, would Levi have like sent Switch a heads up on the information he found in the hack?
That's a good question. Because he didn't actually share much about the Starless Veils information, I thought, either.
No, I didn't. This is more crew business. That's my business with the Starless.
Yes, he thinks so.
So that's what, like, as we're walking, that's what I would probably be doing, is like sending you the screenshots.
Yeah, so I'm probably like reading through that, and then I get that message. Does it say who it's from?
Yeah, it says it's from Siri.
I like get one of these and just flick the. I'm imagining that this communicator looks like the ones in the first season of The Expanse, where it's like kind of like a clear like tablet.
They go like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I imagine he just like flicks it out towards Fitzy, and he's like, "It's for you."
Oh, I got to. Who is this from?
And as you look at it, it's a picture of Levi in a compromising position. It says Space Virgin. Love Siri.
Oh, that's like a little guy. Oh, I wish I had a tablet to save that on. Can I just drag this and just leave it floating here?
Pulls it back. He's like, "Wait, what the? God damn it!"
No, I'm just gonna leave that. Just can I spin it around and have it as like a thing hanging up there? Oh, right.
No, stop.
I'm going to be hacking Siri now.
Hey, just out of curiosity, is there a space Photoshop on your robot? Or is that all natural?
What, did I notice this?
I mean, I blew it up and then...
Yes, because it becomes obvious very quickly.
I would just hack it and show the original picture.
It's smaller in person.
Here, do I have to make a roll?
No, of course.
You could use this for an advertisement for enhancement.
What it originally looks like, it's the fucking Switch picture.
It's just photoshopped to Levi's head.
Yeah.
That's
Which
amazing.
picture that's fucking just put Levi's face on it, and like, like one of those half moments where he's like, that's what I like to
These
think.
guards are just probably so fed up with us, so we're just clowning while they lead us with guns.
What? So Siri was anticipating what Levi decides to do, and so at the bottom, as she flips it, as you hack it back to the original picture, at the bottom it reads "Space Pimp."
That's believable. I can see that.
All right, so walking through the station, you've noticed that the quality of the surroundings, this have improved, much like that we had talked about in the previous episode. The confines of this location were very sort of like airlocker, really tight corridors, really just like tubes almost in some way. A claustrophobic feel that you get from certain like space, stories, like space opera stories, or like, stuff you'd see in The Expanse. But as you're getting closer to sort of where the center is, this has more of a real sort of space station like feel. It's again, various ships and components like kind of cobbled together, but whatever is serving as like sort of the central hub is a much larger sort of piece of like ship or hardware or what have you. And as you're kind of stepping in, the design looks a little bit more unusual. It takes odd angles, and it feels more open, and at the same time there feels like this sort of like there's like a heavier weight or like an oppressive sort of air to it. There's a little bit more like humidity in this particular area, and so it's a really it's a little bit more like claustrophobic feeling, even though the area starts to open up a little bit. But as you're kind of making your way through, finally you come to a sort of a series of airlock doors, and then eventually find yourself sort of like in a waiting area, as two of the guards kind of nod and kind of step off, as the other two just still have their blasters kind of pointed in your general direction, but begin to lean against the wall, just sort of waiting. And they start to have a discussion about some weapon, T-16s or some shit like that. And you're left there waiting with these two guards.
So now what?
Now we wait.
Can I hack again?
Depends on what you want to hack.
I want to find more plans about the stray light.
Okay, how are you going to go about doing that? Like, what are you attempting to do? What resource are you attempting to subvert or otherwise access in order to do that? I mean, so like in my mind, it basically works like any other sort of like imagined sort of space, situation where there's a network, there's what is essentially the larger internet, which we haven't really defined as anything but as other than the space internet, and then there's more localized stuff on stations and ships and on planets and stuff. That's all connected to that. But what specific type of resource are you targeting to go after? Information about the stray light.
I'm not going to do that yet. Then I'm going to wait till we meet the Banshee Queen.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Anything is doing? Or anybody is doing?
No,
Not at the moment.
I think we're just waiting.
Okay. So what time passes, and it feels like an incredibly long time. It's more like 10 minutes, but for whatever reason, like the waiting is just kind of grilling, because it's just you're stuck and you're stuck in this place. And so finally the airlock opens, or the sort of the access hatch opens to the next section of the ship where you're going to go into. And as you kind of you're able to kind of take a look inside, you see what appears to be sort of a larger sort of ready room kind of a situation, probably 50 or 60 feet in length, maybe 20 feet wide, a little bit taller than your average room, but not something that's like very unusual. But as you kind of step inside, you see that there's a series of trophies and other sorts of like paraphernalia, nostalgia, whatever you want to call it, of the life of a space pirate. Anybody want to take a guess as to, or take a stab at what that some of those things might be?
I'm imagining there's like probably some like flags like burned up, like maybe like battle scarred flags that have been taken from official imperial crafts, like Malkath banner houses, that kind of thing. Maybe some like big crazy space xeno animal mounted on the wall somewhere. Anyone else got anything?
There's a thing that people do in the military, which is like collect patches. So there would be like a board with all of like the rank and file patches she's torn off of like ship's command of the ship she's scuttled.
That's such a cool idea. Just like a wall, like with just like rows of patches.
Yep.
Awesome. And it dates back for anybody who has any military experience, you kind of looking back, it dates back at least 20 or so years, standard solar years of like, paraphernalia and stuff, different operations that have happened sort of in the Procyon sector and beyond. You see references to other planets that are not in the sector. You see a reference to something that indicates sort of a much larger sort of multiple sector conflict that happened. But as you're kind of walking in and you're taking all this in, you see a woman sort of sitting behind a desk doing paperwork. This kind of does not match what you would see, what you expect to see from a quote unquote pirate queen. But as you're kind of stepping in, and the guards are kind of just like escorting you in, and then they kind of step back and kind of stay towards the sort of the door. There's only this desk that's sort of at the far end of it, and right beyond her, from this like large desk, and there's like all this paperwork and various like computer displays. There's like a portal, like a porthole of like you can see out into space, and you can see the sort of the nebula that is the Ashtari cloud, kind of, flourishing around, and occasionally you see some space debris or, maybe a ship kind of passing by.
I have two things I want that would be part of a space pirate code.
Okay.
She would have the actual space pirate code behind her that she follows, right?
Okay.
Or she expects everyone to follow. And to her left, after all the trophies and all that, is an airlock.
Okay.
I love it.
That's it.
All right.
Is there another chair?
There are a number of chairs in here. 4 of them are arrayed in front of her.
Yeah, so Switch is gonna walk up and just like whichever chair is like closest to being directly across from her, he's gonna just kind of like spin it on one leg around and sit down in it and lounge. Maybe put his boots up on the table and lean back and just like wait for her to address him.
What about the rest of you?
What kind of security is in this room?
This is going to be a check of some kind. There's definitely security here. It's really a question of whether it's noticeable enough to somebody with your level of experience. Maybe it's a rig or a study.
Skulk
would also work too. And this would definitely, to me, this would be a controlled situation given the circumstances don't appear to be anything. She's going to expect you to do something like this anyways, to kind of take in the room and assess the situation. So
I guess it's just going to be like standard.
The effect is really kind of, I actually think it's limited because there's really just only so much information that you can kind of gather from this situation.
Mm-hmm.
unless you introduce an element of risk into it. Because you're basically not passively observing, but you're trying to be subtle about what you're doing.
2.
I'm sorry, what?
I got a 2.
You got a 2. Wow. Okay. As you're kind of taking in the room in this situation, you look around and you see a camera behind her, and you see some sort of like sensor array behind her. And as you kind of look over, you look at the xenomorph like creature thing that's on the wall, and you think that its eyes are actually cameras. And as you kind of look around, you realize that some of the other trophies look like they contain sensors or cameras of some kind. Everywhere you look, you see surveillance gear.
Well then. That's all. I just wanted this.
Okay.
Look at the room and now I'm a little paranoid, and I'm like.
So Fitzy stands close enough to the door. Does it open in or out, like into the room or out to the hallway?
It's like a hatch. It slides in and out from the wall.
He stands just close enough to the door that like someone could get in, but that's it. Yeah, he wants to be the first person they come in contact with if they come in the room.
Well, so you're standing in front of 2 of the guards.
That's fine
because they're standing on the door.
Yep.
And they're looking at you as you're just kind of like nonchalant. And I imagine Sally just kind of sits up and moves up and sits into one of the chairs as well.
Very doctorly.
And right, and so the Banshee kind of like does this as she's writing paper, and she continues to write on paper, and she's just kind of like doing a bunch of things.
She has no computer.
She has computer displays, but she's working on paper.
And paper's super rare.
Is it?
I imagine so. It's not easy to get in space.
Is it?
Oh,
well, so I mean, I'm very curious about that particular statement because.
Yeah.
All right, so
we're like, if we were like in a planet-side fortress, I might say something else, but like we're far away, like in a cove surrounded by a nanofield, like or cloud. So it would have to be a exotic import. So it would be more expensive. So he would take notice of that.
Okay. So as she just, she's continuing to write. She's got her hand up. She finishes writing. She reaches in behind the desk, and you hear like something sliding, and she pulls out what looks to be an envelope, and she kind of folds the paper into the envelope, licks it to seal it, and then presses a button presses on a button on her desk and kind of stands up and walks around and reaches out her hand to switch, and she says, "Hi. My name is Alonda. I understand that you wanted access to the station. Who are you and who are your friends?"
My name is Marcus Rackham. We actually have met before. You wouldn't remember, though. A couple of years ago, I ran some numbers for you in one of your logistics department. I was going by the name of Chadwick Willingham, but I only was working the job about 8 months, and then you fired me. Actually,
yeah. Did I fire you directly?
No. I think I maybe was in the room with you one time. Like I said, you wouldn't remember me. Marcus Rackham, like I said, they call me Switch. I go way back with Rin. This is Levi. This is the rest of the crew. These two. Well, he apparently doesn't work for me. And is the doctor still with us?
I don't even think that she works with
you.
Sally is with you guys.
Sally definitely works with us. We gave her a gun and everything. She's the muscle.
I just want to be clear here. We both work with you, not for you.
That's fair.
Yeah.
they work with me. Look, it's semantics, but you get what I'm saying. It's good to meet you. For the, formally, that is.
Can I study her?
You sure can.
I want to study how she's reacting to us and how, like, kind of get insight of what she's trying to glean from us, I guess.
Okay.
Controlled?
Yeah, I still think it's a controlled situation. Now, for a fact, I have a question for you. Previously, in kind of doing the sort of like surveying of the room and using Sculpt, you were just kind of like assessing the situation as you were kind of taking it in. This is you're trying to basically kind of like evaluate her for like her disposition, her mannerisms, sort of her body language, right?
Yeah.
So there's an element of like concentration or acute observation that you're having to do. Is Levi high, inebriated, stoned, or in some otherwise way?
I mean, he's drunk.
So it's a normal level of drunk, not like
I didn't drink. I drank one of those drinks, and then they came in and started doing everything, and I haven't taken drug. He might be. I'm trying to think how long ago he would taken drugs. It might have been a little ago, but he's probably coming down on it.
The last drug you took was the inhaler of Ashtari gases.
Yeah, so I'm already off of that. So I'm not on drugs right now.
Right, and the hangover from that has finally subsided after taking a drink of the wrecking ball, because it helped. It was sort of a hair of the dog situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to call that. It's not going to have a limited effect. I'm going to give you the opportunity to deal with a regular sort of effect.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain in this particular case?
Let's do devil's bargain.
Okay. When the Pirate Queen interacts with you directly, you will experience a surprise.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and take an additional die.
This is study.
Yep. And roll it.
6 and a 1.
Shit. Oh, okay. All right. So you're trying to glean her reaction, or sort of like her general like take of you guys.
I mean, like that, and like pretty much where she's because she seems businessy already, and that kind of like seems odd to Levi, especially after he's been to the Cove before and it wasn't like this before. So what's different now? Kind of like why is she different? Kind of thing at the like kind of just getting a general read on her, and then like why she's kind of like fixated on us a little bit.
Okay, so as you're kind of assessing the situation, I'm going to indicate things to you as the conversation goes on.
Mm-hmm.
that because of the way that because of the success that you got, will indicate certain things, maybe certain subtle things that otherwise nobody else is picking up on.
Mm-hmm.
So that we'll go with that. And so as she's interacting with Switch, you can see that she's actually genuinely interested, but that she looks like she's calculating something. Like she's assessing the situation. She's weighing the situation in a measured fashion.
Has she told him to get his fleet off the desk?
No, she has not.
Okay.
I think like when she walks over to shake his hand, he like kind of like throws him off to like and like sits up so that he can like actually shake her hand because he doesn't want to be rude. But yeah, he's staying very casual. He's trying to be very nonchalant about this whole thing.
So as you know, she's the conversation is kind of going on, and you're explaining that you used to work for her and then you got fired or whatever. She kind of takes the situation and she says, yeah, okay. So why are you here now at the Cove? Do you have business here? Are you bringing in the shipments? Did you receive a manifest or any type? I mean, it's unusual to drop the name like Ren. Ren is my right hand person around here, but I would think that given your status and the past work that you supposedly did for me, I just kind of want to understand what it is that you're trying to do here. Like,
I'll be honest. I wasn't trying to cause a stir. Normally, we don't get as many questions coming into the Cove. In my experience, I was just here doing a little business, meeting a little somebody to get the next job. I'm a businessman. That's kind of what we take care of. And, this has always been a good place for it. I love doing business here.
Yeah, it's interesting because previously, everything was sort of like a free for all, and people could come and go. And if you got your way in, you got your way in. Then there was the code that was more of a guideline, but now we've got the code. And she points to the thing, over the side here. And we have a set of rules that we follow. And it's really important that you follow the rules here. So I'm going to need you to explain to me what you're doing here, because if you don't have a manifest and you don't have any sort of actually legitimate business to be here, I'm gonna need to to take some steps. And she kind of she does this, and she kind of looks over at the airlock door. So
she's just gonna be like, Alonda, you said you wanted Alonda, not the Banshee. You prefer that?
I prefer first names here. That Banshee thing, that was that was my youth. I was a little bit of a I was a little bit more how should I say this, of a violent person then. Now I believe in the rules. I mean, I'm taking some great meds. It's doing me good. I'm seeing a psychotherapist. It's kind of working, and legitimate business is what I'm trying to establish here. We've had way too much trouble with the law, and I want to stay on the right side of the law.
Look, I know all about the law. I'm actually an attorney, believe it or not.
I actually don't believe that, but if you'd like to show me your credentials,
I absolutely can. Yeah, he's actually going to send her some documents. He's actually an attorney. Switch is a licensed attorney.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't actually handle electronic devices myself. I deal only in paper here. Do you?
Well, I could get the papers sent. I mean, I'm sure the Imperial has it on file somewhere. Technically, I am licensed in Breck, Holt, Rin, and Iota, but it doesn't really matter. I don't do that much anymore. It's kind of a relic of the past life, as you understand it. Well, here's the thing, Alonda. Normally, we're not the best with rules. I personally am not a huge fan of them, but for you, I think we can follow them. And I gotta say, nothing we're doing here is illegal. We came, we went to a bar, we're meeting some friends a little later, and we're gonna. I got nothing in my manifest because I'm gonna get information and then go do a job and then come back potentially with something in my manifest, and then I'll let you search through it and do the whole thing. That's how business works, I presume.
Levi, she's incredibly controlled and muted here. Like, her emotional state is very much like she's drugged. Like somebody you've ever seen on some heavy pharmaceuticals, who is just otherwise an emotional person who just is very sort of, dry and sort of managed. This seems unusual, even given the reputation that in the past, the Banshee has decided to take on, take on a more of a leisurely lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so Switch, as you're kind of saying all this, she's going, okay. Okay. Well, it's interesting because, and she reaches back behind her onto her desk and she pulls out a sheet of paper, and on it says wanted.
You're telling me you don't have one of those?
Oh, I'm sorry. I've cleared all of mine up. Apparently, this is by somebody named Boris. He's offering 50 creds for information as to where he can locate one ship known as, let's see, the Glory Hole.
I'm pretty sure that's Boris's ship. Last I checked, he was flying the ship under that registry.
I'm pretty sure it's a dreadnought.
Well, so here's the thing: is that according to this, it's got a ship of a description of a Star Dancer, and it matches sort of this.
I mean, we can go back and forth, but at the end of the day, it's not as though Boris is a legal entity. He's just, a racketeer who has put some money out for me because he's got a bone to pick. Like I said, I'm doing everything legitimate here. I've got no trouble in the Cove.
I heard his ship smells like ship.
According to this is registered with the Bounty Hunters Guild. Which is a legitimate organization, according to what the hegemony has decided to do.
Of course, but that doesn't change the fact that anyone can put a bounty on anyone.
At this point, Levi, you can see that there's a little bit of tension in her voice, and that there's you can see that like her blood pressure is starting to go up just a little bit, but also that it's in a way where the meds are still trying to work to manage her tension or her anger here. And Switch, as she's like, well, it's really interesting because there's this, and then she reaches back and pulls out, and then there's this one, and this one is the one that was available before your friend here, Levi. And she looks at Levi for the first time, and when she looks at you just get this sense of like utter dread, because her outer disposition, everything, she's sweating a little bit. She looks a little tense. She's a little white, but otherwise her general disposition looks still controlled, but there's rage in her eyes. Like there's like just like rage being withheld by what's going on with the drives. And she's like, both of these indicate with the Bounty Hunters Guilds and these are legitimate organizations on this one here who have a legitimate claim that you stole something from them.
Look, we can throw around accusations all day here. What are we doing here, Alonda? I mean, if you want us dead, you would shoot us. We're in here in your office. If you wanted this spaced, you would space us. So let's talk brass tacks. Let's cut through it.
What are you willing to do that I just don't do to make a legitimate business transaction and collect on these bounties?
That's an excellent point. I hear you're trying to go legitimate. Everything I've seen, the rules, the regulations, I hear that you got something big in the works.
That's not unknown, sure.
I think maybe you could use folks like me, people who are a little bit more disposable, a little bit more deniable, folks who can get things done that take a little bit of extra work. And I think that in the long run, that I could be very helpful to you in the way that I've been very helpful to folks in the past. Just ask Rin. She can vouch for me. I do good work.
Look, Rin explained that she owes you some money, but otherwise doesn't, have much experience with you in the last couple of years. I mean, I don't know. She's proven herself quite the right-hand person for me, but otherwise,
Like I said, we can put it on a trial basis if you want. I'm just here to do work. If I pick up other work while I'm here, more power. That sounds all good, But personally, I don't really see that we have any reason to be enemies here. And I think that there's a lot more value in a relationship together than you trying to turn me over to the cops. That between both of us, we both know that you don't like them any better than I do.
I'm sorry. Do you think I'm going to turn you over to the 51st? That's not something I plan to do. I've had many runs with the 51st. Just because I'm going legitimate doesn't mean that they don't have a grudge, a beef. But the Bounty Hunters Guild, all I need to do is make sure that you're delivered there.
I hear you, but the Bounty Hunters Guild ain't going to do you any favors afterwards. And like you said, you've got beefs around. I'm just saying, I think that there's room to be wiggled here, and I think you do too. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in this room. I don't know. I really like looking at a role here. I feel like I'm making a good case. Like, if she just wanted to, if she didn't want something for us, we wouldn't be here.
In the middle of this tense conversation, while Levi is staring her down and Switch is trying to talk her down, you just hear that thump of a cork. And then Fitzy's drinking the wrecking ball. Boom, and he squeezes it back into the leather pouch. No, carry on. I was helping myself.
So, what kind of a role do you think that this actually is?
I think it's a sway role. And I think basically, like, what I'm trying to talk her into is, like, the more she goes legitimate, the more she needs people like Switch, who's very good at skating kind of between the, like, interlegality, right? Like, that was always, like, the game that Switch was good at playing, is, like, being on the wrong side of the law, but looking like he was on the right side of the law with his kind of, like, con man lawyer gig. And it seems to Switch in this moment that he's the exact kind of person that she would need. And especially now that he has a ship and a crew and is, like, a little bit easier to make it look like he's totally independent, even if he's potentially working for her.
Interesting. Okay, I'll allow it.
Cool.
This is a risky role to me, though, because it seems like you're not in a position to have the advantage here.
I agree. We're in the belly of the beast. She has all the cards.
Yep. And unless you can convince me otherwise, I think that the effect is limited, given the fact the Maelstrom Pirates are not only a tier 3, but also she's got you in a position you're in the belly of the beast, basically.
Yeah, let me, what could I potentially have here? Okay, so I can spend my special armor to talk myself out of trouble, which would help. Or I could take a devil's bargain, potentially, couldn't I?
Yeah, you totally could take a devil's bargain.
Yeah, let's do that. Is there a devil's bargain here to push for extra effect? If not, I can spend the special armor, but if there is one.
All right. So from my perspective, getting caught up in the minutia of whatever it is that the Banshee is trying to do might actually make it difficult for Switch to do business in certain places. So regardless of what it is that you are trying to do here, by invoking the devil's bargain, what's going to happen is Switch is going to have some difficulty in certain negotiation tactics or other social situations that otherwise would be okay for him. But now, because of how he's presented this, it's becoming a legitimate sort of reputation.
He's becoming more associated with them.
You're becoming more associated with somebody who does above the board work, rather than it's like Console or Malcolm Reynolds getting a legitimate reputation, and as soft.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to take that devil's bargain. That's a tough one.
If there's anybody else who has a devil's bargain, I'd love to hear it. But it seems like it's a perfect situation, given the fact that not only is she trying to go quote unquote legitimate, but you also drop the fact that you have legal degrees.
No, that makes total sense, and I like the devil's bargain. I think it's a good option, but I don't think I want to take it for this character. I think it's too much of handing over the devil too much in this case. So I'll go ahead and spend the special armor and take that.
Well,
instead.
I mean, if you can come up with one, or if anybody else can come up with one at the table, I'm willing to hear it as an alternative. I'm looking at the situation and saying that this is actually a little bit unique. So I want it to tie to the element of legitimacy that is like sort of the theme in this conversation. So.
No, I think it makes total sense. It's just like, I think there's always going to be some devil's bargains that are like, man, that's good, but it's like a little bit too harsh for what.
Yeah,
totally.
Like,
I agree.
Just goes the wrong direction. And I think like, if we're like doing it narratively wise, is like maybe like Switch isn't able to push on that quite as much as he might want to, because he like is afraid of losing his space pirate badass reputation, right? It's like he cares about that a little bit too much.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So I'll spend the special armor.
All right.
Take that off, and we'll do risky standard and no bonus dice, and hopefully I don't fail.
Oh, wow.
That's a crit.
Jesus. What a time for freaking Roll20, randomness to do its thing. Oh, all right, Switch, desired outcome. Narrate it for us. What is the desired outcome here?
Man, that's good. So I think in like the perfect world, it's like this works because they're like, I trigger something in the back of their mind that we can do for her. It's like, oh, you know what? Actually, I have the job for them moment is the perfect outcome, I think, here.
She looks at you, kind of stares at you shrewdly, looks over at Levi, looks back at you, looks over at Sally, shakes her head because Sally's twirling her gun and just being otherwise a little sort of like, dismissive in this situation, assesses Fitzy and comes back and she says,
how does she feel about Fitzy?
Did you need something? Or am I just gonna... Did you want a sip?
So, Levi, what you notice as Fitzy is saying what you see that there's actually a little bit of a hunger in her eyes, and there's like
glass,
a response, as if she wants the drink.
If you have, I already put my mouth on it. Do you have a glass?
Oh no! Yeah, get her a glass.
No.
No, you should really.
I can't take anything. I can't do anything like that.
Oh no, it'd be fine.
The type of pharmaceuticals that I'm on.
I don't mind. I'm in the sharing kind of mood. I've already had.
Oh no! What's kind of pharmaceuticals around?
Three cartons of a bottle.
That kind of stuff.
My psychotherapist and I can do that on our.
What does a fucking therapist know?
More for me.
She kind of steps back around the table and kind of assumes more of a the desk and assumes more of a formal situation. Well, I guess the door is off the table here. I actually think I understand the situation a little bit better. I don't have anything quite legitimate for you because you don't have a legitimate ship. You've got too much going on there, Switch.
Maybe non-legitimate is just what you need for this one.
Can I look at the bounty that I corrected?
Yes.
Okay. What's it look like now?
It still reads the glory hole and describes the dreadnought. It still reads 500. However, you can see that there is a status of pending on it that indicates on some level that there might be updated information coming soon, which to you seems to be a bad thing, because usually when that happens, it usually corrects the behavior, the sort of the hacked behavior of wanted to go back to accurate information. So you're not quite sure how long you have, but that information to you feels like it's going to switch back.
I am going to alter the picture to make it where the pending doesn't show up, and just locally, like just have those holographic pixels not show up for that lettering. And I'm not actually changing the actual bounty, but like I bring it up in the to her, and I was like, all right, you know what, you talk about this bounty, and like Boris might have one, but he's got that's not the right registration, that's the name of his ship, if you see that right there, and then like closes it down, and it's like, I mean,
as I said, everyone needs a little deniable help every now and then.
All right. Well, whatever the status of the bounty is, and she looks directly at Levi. Right now, I'm not too terribly concerned about it, because, as it seems, your friend Switch here has reminded me of the occasional need to go outside of the normal rules of engagement here for business. And she kind of looks directly at Switch and she says, how are you at extraction jobs?
The best.
Have you ever done an extraction job before?
Oh, yeah. We did a big one just recently, actually.
Ooh.
There's a dinosaur.
There is. There is. No.
Well, there was a dinosaur when we escaped from it.
Right.
In the last job. There isn't one in this. Fitzy, do you see a dinosaur?
No.
She shakes her head, and you realize that she doesn't have the time for this, and she's like, oh, all right, you know what, I don't think I need the details.
We live adventurous lives.
I think you're going to be perfect for this job. I'm going to need you to go and talk to Ren for the details, but the circumstances is simple. A fellow business associate of mine, who, for the time being, will remain nameless, is currently being held as a hostage at a location known as the Stray Light. Are you guys familiar with it?
A
little bit.
No.
Can't say I much know.
Well, see, its front is an upscale sort of club and cocktail bar. It's a neat thing that sort of like is a small contained space station, not unlike my beautiful cove here. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna need to move location soon and it's something a little bit more legitimate and corporate. But at this particular point, the cove is serving its particular purposes. But so the Stray Light, on the other hand, is sort of an exclusive thing, which is actually a front for some criminal, nefarious, sort of underhanded means, stuff that I used to be a part of all the time, but I'm not really involved in anymore. And a business associate of mine was actually kidnapped and taken there and is being held hostage in a private area of the Stray Light. Do you think you can go and get them?
Oh, yeah. I think there's going to be a jailbreak. And then Jailbreak by Thin Lizzy starts playing.
Yeah.
That's well, so there's a complication here. It's and I only raise it because I know that this is a real problem. And she looks at Levi and she says, my associate is indirectly connected to your friend Stev. As she looks directly at Levi.
I don't have a friend named Stev.
That's funny because, and she pulls out a bounty on paper and it says,
man, we got a lot of those.
100 credits.
For me? Is that what I feel like the fucking talk of the town right now.
We're doing a pretty good job with all these numbers. Yeah, we're worth a lot.
Look,
I'm starting to think that you guys are criminals.
Wait, okay.
Look,
So
if we were criminals, the Legion would be after us, not these bounty hunters. This is just private bounty hunting work. It's, it's just people with grudges.
no.
Bitter people who lost out on deals they could have made. And look, not like this fine lady here, this wise Banshee.
Alonda, please. My name is Alonda. I don't go by the Banshee anymore.
I apologize.
I don't even like to be called the Pirate Queen, even though these silly pirates, they keep trying to.
Yeah, you may want to get the word around. Someone before was giving me a real talking to for using your real name. Anyway, I think we gotta. So yeah, we can take care of this for you.
Okay. All right.
Quick question.
It's going to require us to sign a contract.
Okay.
Question. Wait. So what's this have to do with Stev?
Well, it seems that the individual, my business associate that's been taken, has a relationship with Stev that is beneficial, and in returning them, they might actually turn you over to Stev.
I doubt it, but okay.
Just so I can be clear on this as well, what or who is the Steve?
I don't. Wait. Sally, do you have the remembering drug?
No, pass. I'll take a pass. No.
Cranks the dial a little bit for the revolver.
The gun down. Put the gun down.
Aims over and
No.
shoots.
Oh, fuck that shit.
It's not for me. Oh, that's fine. Shoot him all you want. Steph is a what?
I remember a poker game.
Oh.
Okay, okay. I may have pissed someone off.
That's fair. It seems like that's what you guys do all the time.
I think we can handle it when it comes. Let's take it as it comes.
Who are you rescuing?
Well, it's a business associate of mine. It's a little complicated. I can't actually tell you anything about them. I just know that they've been taken. It's. Have you ever had any dealings with House Malclef? I mean, seriously.
Never even heard of them.
Painful that they're so anonymous. I as a businesswoman need to be able to actually know who I'm talking to and have the conversation. I just know that they reached out secretly and were able to get a message to me saying that they needed help and that they couldn't go back to their own noble house to because it's some sort of business family affair kind of a thing.
Okay. So Houseman Clef hired you to go rescue this person.
Oh, no. This person was able to reach out through me. They apparently made a deal, got a message out to... They still refer to me as the Pirate Queen, and because it's House Malclef, I prefer Alonda. Really, I'm not the kind of boss that goes by the last name. I'm not the kind of person who runs a business who goes by the last name. My name's Alonda. Not the Banshee, not the Pirate Queen, Alonda. But
Wakanda.
The rage in her eyes behind the drug-induced calm of her body intensifies as she looks at you. Do I need to refer your current location to your friend Stev?
I think we can take it from here for now. We'll go get this taken care of for you, and let's part ways while we're on good terms here, Levi.
What did I say?
Let's just start. I don't rightly know, but let's. Yeah. Just looking back and forth, like hoping that people aren't going to start shooting each other.
All right. Well, if nothing further, I need to get this contract prepared. I will have it ready for you and have it sent over to Ren, and Ren will have it. You sign it and.
Perfect. I'll give it the old Jonathan Hancock, and then we'll get on with our way. That's Yeah.
Who's Jonathan Hancock?
Famous ancient lawyer.
I think he's a superhero.
I thought he was a porn star.
It could have been all three of those, really. Anyway, like I said, we got some other business to take care of. We'll go get that done. We'll sign the old contract to Rooney, and we'll get on with saving your old friend there from the jail.
Nightclub,
jail. If it's being, it doesn't matter. Semantics. I think like Switch is just like slowly backing up.
she kind of waves her hand. All right, I'm gonna get back to business. Can you escort this gentleman and this lady here? Can you get them back to wherever they need to be and let Ren know where that is so that when I send the contract, okay, great.
You know, for a pirate queen, you seem pretty all right, and it was free for. You can just have that. You can have that. You can finish it off. And he just and then corks it on her desk. It's fine. I had 4 back at the bar, and then the entire, like 3/4 of the bottle. You can polish her up. It's pretty good. And then he just starts to walk.
Are you walking away, Levi? You kind of look back and get the assess the situation as you're kind of getting her disposition as they're leaving.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that she's trying to work really hard, but that she's looking very hard at the bottle on the desk. Like she keeps kind of glancing over and kind of looking back at what she's doing, and she stops and she kind of looks over, and then the door slides shut behind you.
You know, everyone says that the Banshee Queen is terrifying. I thought she was pretty all right.
Yeah, I think that went remarkably well.
Yeah. I mean, the rule number 1 on her rules was like, don't kill anybody. So, pretty half-assed pirates, if you ask me. No offense, pirate guard or whatever. But I mean, you know, I guess there's a lot of things you can do up until death, which are pretty painful. I've done some of them. But, you know, I think she was all right. She seemed like a nice lady.
You've been torturing people, Fitzy? You made it sound like you've been tortured. You haven't been torturing people, have you?
I mean, not on your ship.
Well, that's okay. All right. That's.
I mean.
Look, a skill is a skill.
Listen,
and I don't think we're gonna need to use it, but you know it.
I'll let you know ahead of time. I do charge a little bit extra for that.
I think I'm all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in the event that it happens and you need, you know.
Yeah. Well,
I know.
So,
Levi,
what do you think? You think that went well?
No.
What do you mean?
Really?
Something's up.
Oh.
I don't like it.
Really?
That's because you're sober.
I just got injected with drugs.
Yeah, but that was the remember things drug. This isn't even like
It still makes me feel great.
All right.
Is anyone around us listening?
The pirate.
Only the 2 guards, but they don't appear to be really kind of like all they're doing is escorting you at this point. They're no more blasters, not really paying attention. They're going back to talking about the rifle.
While they're talking, I'd be whispering. But
we're like keeping it.
Yeah. Because I sound boisterous and loud, but here's the thing: this is not the Cove anymore, right? The Cove is where pirates go to be lawless and surmised, right? And now they're going legitimate. Why are they going legitimate?
Well, there's probably money to be made, and seems like that woman doesn't want to be on the run for the law for the rest of her life. Probably looking to retire.
It's a possibility, but why don't you just go retire and then fucking, fuck off from the Cove?
Some people want to build an empire, Levi.
I mean, it did sound a little bit like she wanted to steal the pleasure ship that we're about to go raid. So perhaps the Cove stays the Cove and she goes and fucks off and does her own thing.
Maybe? I don't know. Something just seems to be up with her. And she also really hates me. I don't know why. I'll find out later.
I tell you what, Levi, I trust your judgment here. I mean, if you think we should go another direction, I mean, we'd be burning the bridge, but
No, we should do the job. But because it's also, I think it's hand in hand with what we're doing anyways. But I would like to have contingencies set up. It's one of the few times I kind of like, piss in the wind all the time. But this is, I think, this time we're a little over our heads, and we need to make sure we have a escape plan or some information on our side. And then I go, Siri, what did you find out?
Roll for what Siri found out.
What did I roll? Hack?
Yeah, totally. Or maybe we could do a fortune roll if you guys want to do a fortune roll to just determine the randomness of it. But
fortune roll.
Yeah, why not?
All right. So fortune rolls are a little bit different, right? They work like engagement rolls, although I find it ironic that we still haven't done one.
Yeah.
Officially. Here's what a fortune roll is, right? It starts off with 1d6, right? Mm-hmm. And that's just the representation of some value that needs to be rolled. We then talk about how the pool builds up with positive qualities, and ultimately, or then we talk about the negatives and kind of remove them until we have our dice pool built, whatever that actually means. So 1d6 to start. What else is in the favor here for Siri and the information that she's trying to hack?
Siri has a back door.
And we're talking about hacking specifically Ren's tablet.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 2d6.
And Ren probably, since she's a secondhand man, probably has a lot of things and a lot of codes in extracting that information. But like another thing that could be added to it is Siri is a droid that is technology, so the technology that she's hacking is beneath her, and she has a processor for a brain, so probably can do anything a lot faster than we can.
Is it the fact that she's hacking technology that's beneath her really a positive? Is she not going to give you shit about that?
She will give me shit about it, and that's why she'll gladly do this too, because like I asked her to do it, and so when I'm asking her to do it, she A, knows I'm serious, and B, knows that she gets to hold it over my head for quite a long time. But other than that, because I didn't want to be apparent that I was doing something in that room,
Okay.
But yeah, I would say for anything else, another thing I want to do is to have it look that Rin sent us the information, because I'm going to blackmail Rin.
She's a friend.
Is she your friend? No. Okay.
All right.
She's a friend, but that doesn't mean that Switch wouldn't be fine with you blackmailing her.
Okay. So let's talk about the positives here real quick, and then something you just said actually strikes me as a possibility of being a negative. Wendy, for just the fortune roll, backdoor into Ren's machine.
Yeah.
The fact that Siri is hacking it and it's beneath her. And the fact that there's another one is the fact that you are trying to take this information in such a way to you're basically looking for the widest possible effect for this information. So that seems like 46 here.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said about using it for blackmail feels like a negative to me, because there's an element of risk that.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna hold on to that just for a second, and we'll come back to it. Anything else positive in this direction, guys?
You guys have anything? Okay.
All right. I'm gonna rely a little bit on Switch to kind of talk about some of the negatives, because you are hacking somebody that he knows very intimately. But so the blackmail information, so you're gonna remove one of them for that. So we're gonna go down to 3, right? Because there's an element of just taking the information and not getting found. Then there's the element of using it, and it might backfire on you if you're going to blackmail her. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else as a negative in this situation?
I mean, the only thing I can think of is like so Rin is listed in my list as a smuggler. So like it could be that she's a little bit more careful with this kind of stuff than most people. But other than that, I think probably, I mean, it's not like we're not used to hacking these kind of people, but it might just be, not your normal everyday system.
I also think that that's kind of built into the fact that you're going to want to use this to blackmail somebody. So I still think it's at 3 at this point. Anything else negative here?
Would Siri's ghost robot be a negative? Space Ghost Siri.
I have no idea.
I don't know what it.
No,
we don't know what it does yet.
Case because that part of the story hasn't evolved yet. So no, but that's a great thing to think about. Okay. Nothing else?
Nope.
I don't think so.
All right, roll a fortune roll on your character sheet, Levi.
Let me find fortune.
Right-hand side below your friends.
There you go.
Okay. Roll fortune. Number of dice 3.
Yep.
No whammies. Oh wait, notes.
Nope.
Nope. Just roll it.
353.
353. Okay. So reasonably successful. A little bit of a complication. So yes, you get everything that you're looking for from her tablet. And if I remember correctly, what you messaged me privately about was more information about the stray light.
Yeah.
More information about her activities in general, the manifests and stuff. Mm-hmm. Was there something else?
Trying to find anything that was illegal coming in and out, that was still coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I want to have that information because she was talking about being legit, and I think it's a front. And like she might be on drugs and all that kind of stuff, but like I still feel like something's going on here because not everyone's just gonna give up the code. So I was looking for a legal manifest and all that kind of stuff. They're probably encrypted. And so that's why I was looking for that information to find out.
Okay, so you get all the information that she has on the stray light, which is a detailed sort of architectural plan of the space station that is known as the stray light. Mm-hmm. You see that it is mostly designed to be a space station that is like sort of like an entertainment, sort of like mini complex, not unlike Club 37, except on a much smaller scale. There's a club, there's a bar, there's a restaurant, there are private quarters, for people who are staying there. There's a number of docking ports for ships, to kind of rendezvous with it. There are some private areas. There's one area that she does not have information about that's sort of marked as private.
Okay.
All the legitimate manifest information that you're able to gain from her mostly focuses on the trading of legitimate goods in and out of the Procyon sector. She appears to be she appears to be managing the trade of, like a bunch of like different sort of various goods. However, one thing catches your eye, and it is what you would assume is illegitimate or illegal or unsavory. And there is a reference to trafficking.
Okay.
So that element is like there's a nugget of information there, but there's not enough for you to be able to get any type of like real detail. You see a reference to it, but you're left wondering whether there's more information legitimately that she has that just isn't on her tablet, or if it's some part of sort of like the manifests that you have and it's just coded in a way. Mm-hmm. So,
okay. So with that note, I tell everyone, it's like, well, I have the photo plans. For that, and I make sure the guards aren't listening too. That's for the stray light. But the other one, I find this very interesting, and I like zoom in on my tablet and show Switch, and point that out. And I was like, that was on Rin's tablet there. So,
oh, well, that's interesting.
I don't have much more information than that, but I mean, that's something I think we would want to get a little more information on, because that could be a great bargaining chip, especially.
I agree, especially if they try to double cross us. we could pull up their whole legitimate thing out of the water. Nah, this is good work. So I feel like we go back to the bar, we make this deal, we do this job, and hopefully it goes well. And if not, well, we'll be on the lookout because hey, we've been double crossed before, haven't we?
Yes.
Hey, so
No.
I also have another plan going in my head, but I won't talk about it now.
yeah, keep it up there, and then let us know when the time comes. I like that.
Okay.
This is good. This is good.
What kind of planning is that?
Oh,
I have not mentioned this plan out loud to anyone,
Look,
but I have a plan.
the more people who know a plan, Fitzy, the more compromised it is.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, we got to keep things tight. We got to take it one step at a time. We got to make sure it's need-to-know basis.
That sounds
Right
like
now,
the
not
most
even-
ass backwards everything. I've never even heard of that kind of planning. Doesn't make
Right
any
now,
sense.
I don't need to know. Only Levi is need to know.
All right.
Do you not trust Levi now? I don't know what's been in you. What's wrong with you? Ever since you got the space ghost, something's wrong with you, man. I don't know what it is. You're not trusting Levi anymore.
I'm just saying that only one person knows a plan that involves several people. The other people involved should probably know the plan.
Oh, we're gonna know the plan eventually.
Maybe. It depends if it comes to it.
What?
Don't worry. You're worrying too much.
Must be the wrecking ball. I don't.
Have a drink. We're gonna
I
go
gave
back.
it to
We'll
the
get you
pirate
another
lady.
drink. We'll get you another drink.
All right.
Does Sally have anything for you?
No.
Oh.
No. Hard
All
pass. No, thank you.
Okay.
I don't
You seem tense.
I don't trust Sally. As far as I can throw her, which is not very far, because she
She has
kicks
so
and
many good
squirms.
drugs.
You seem tense, Fitzy. That's
No,
all I'm saying.
I
You
haven't.
seem-
You know, I had an opportunity to hit something and I was asleep, and so I'm just a little stressed out. And then I woke up and there was a space ghost inside my head, and he said he's gonna bore through, and he told me I need to quit drinking, which is just chicanery, and I don't have time for it. So you know, I'm a little on edge.
All right. I get that. I get that, buddy. We're gonna get this done. We're gonna get paid, and we'll be on to the next. I'm sure there'll be people to punch in this whole jailbreak thing.
Oh, you know, I'm hoping so. I gotta take out this space ghost frustrations.
Oh yeah.
As
We'll get this gun.
as Trixie brings the next round of wrecking balls to the crew, and the bickering is going on, you hear a voice from behind you, Switch, and it's Ren, and she says, "Man, you really haven't changed, have you? You keep picking crews and making friends everywhere."
Look, I'm a friendly guy, Ren. What can I say? Look, I got things worked out with your pirate queen. Much nicer lady than you had me believe. I think it seems like you gotten clued in. We're doing something for you here.
Look, pirate queen is a term of affection at this particular point. I don't particularly know what's going on in that woman's brain. I just know that it's been real different, ever since she's had some various dealings, and we do anything that even resembles piracy here now. At least not that I'm acutely aware of at this
How
point.
does that make you feel?
Me?
Yeah.
She kind of looks. She looks at Levi. And she's like,
Yeah, Ren, how does that make you feel?
"I'm a smuggler. I enjoy the thrill of a job.
Right.
Paperwork. I'm not. I mean, did you see that she only deals in real paper? And she.
Well, that's actually smart, but you can't hack paper.
No, you can't hack paper. I mean, thousands of years of security. Paper seems to be, the best way to manage things.
Well, I mean, I can do old school forgery. Have you ever seen that before? It's a good trick. Not a lot of people can do that these days.
No,
Plus, I know, like, people in my line of the industry, we can read your thoughts and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's not really like a...
Anyway, we're getting besides the point, Ren. I want to get down to this because, if things start changing too much for you around here, you I could always use an extra pair of hands, a little help.
I'm not ever working with you again at that level.
I'm not saying that you have to make a decision now. I'm not saying you have to make a decision ever. I'm just letting you know the door is open if things change too fast and too hard for you. I mean, too quick for you.
No, we are not doing this again. We are not getting into these compromising situations again. I have the pictures to prove it.
Well, that is not what I was talking about at all.
I'm
talking about smuggling.
Wait a minute.
I'm talking about smuggling and nothing else now.
I'm so many drinks in. Go back. You got pictures.
Not going. You know what? Door is closed, Rin. Forget working together. You go do your paperwork, and
No, I said da. Yeah, she's just like, no, we're not. I am in control of this conversation.
Those pictures to Siri. What?
There's
what?
no. We're not. It's nothing. Anyway, look.
She gives you a stern look, Switch.
I understand where you're coming from. Things are changing. I just wanted to reach out, and I can see that was a mistake. So consider it revoked.
Anyways, as she types up and brings up information on her tablet. So it's interesting because you're getting sent on the Straylight job. Is that correct?
That's what we've been told, right? Levi, Fitzy, that's right?
I thought that's what it was.
That's definitely what it was.
Well, so I don't know how much she told you. It's a hostage rescue situation. You're going to basically be extracting somebody from what is essentially supposed to be a real nice club. I can't get any more information about it until but. Hey, I've got all this information here I can send you. There's not too terribly much I can get. You might have to get some more. But there's something really interesting and peculiar about this particular job. So we got a message from the contact. I don't know how this person did what they did, but they were able to convince somebody that was has a part of the crew that is hostage, has them as hostage, and they were able to get a message out. So that was really surprising to us, but the message got out, and Her Highness the Pirate Queen was started to kind of build some information together to put this together. But what's really interesting to me is that a part of the package of this information is something addressed to you, Levi.
Why am I getting treated so wonderful today?
I was hoping it was going to be me again, but no, not this time.
No, not this time. I could read it out loud. What's the message? This is my birthday.
She kind of so it's interesting because as a part of the package, it says when Levi arrives, give this to him.
Okay, what is it?
And she sends it to your data pad. And so as you're kind of like you kind of retrieve it, you start to you run decryption on it because it's encrypted, and you kind of pull it up, and it says the following: Lynn sends his regards. Where is my cube?
Who sent that message?
Whoever this person is that's stuck on the station. What does it say? I couldn't decrypt it.
Oh, it's a running gag, right? So basically what they said, they're like, hey, when you get to the station, you should fucking shove a wrecking ball up your ass. And I was like, no. And I changed it to say that.
Interesting.
It's ongoing. It's a wrecker joke, wreckers. We always send each other stupid messages. It just has a little petty game.
Can you explain to me how this person knows what's going on, or knew that you were going to be here, that we were going to be able to contact you and said this to you?
Oh, wrecker sense. All wreckers can sense each other.
That
former or current.
I'm sorry. As I understand it, this person is House Malcleth that you're going to be extracting.
Yes.
How are they associated to the wreckers?
They could have been a wrecker at one point. I don't know.
Levi.
I don't think any of that sounds correct.
I'm pretty fucking high right now.
Yeah, you sound high. Look, it's probably someone trying to fuck with us if they know a record code. That's what it sounds like to me. Switch says, very obviously lying and trying to cover for Levi now.
Lie, sway, do whatever it takes.
Sway, I got this. Yeah, hopefully. Is Levi helping me or hurting me?
I don't know. What is Levi doing in this situation?
I'm making it look like that's what the message said. By basically saying shove a wrecking ball up your ass. Signed
A wrecker?
Slice. A junkyard
is the name of the wrecker?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's the what do you think the position here is, Switch?
Probably risky.
I would think so too. What about effect?
Controlled or limited, or limited or standard. I
think it's pretty limited given the circumstances.
Yeah, it's not the best lie.
No,
it's not.
How about is there a devil's bargain here?
Devil's bargain. Okay, if no, it's not. Let's start that with an if. I'm sorry, I don't know what my roommates are doing. The devil's bargain is this: the information that Levi has changed will actually leak out and attract the attention of House Malcleth, who, if you remember correctly, doesn't actually know that this person has been taken or what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
According to what Alonda told you.
Yeah, I'll take that.
All right, I'm just to be clear, this is a pretty dramatic shift in the narrative.
Yeah, I like it because it kind of makes it a race to get this guy out.
Okay.
Cool. And then is Levi spending his stress to give me a die?
Sure.
Yeah, you definitely want to succeed at this then.
Nice. Good rolls today.
Ren looks at you, really gives you that hard regard. And she's like, all right, whatever. And she just starts to go back to her data pad. Now I'm sending you all of the information, and she completely forgets sort of the circumstances, the distraction and everything else. And she starts digging in, at which point something ticks off on Levi's data pad about the back door. Because not only did he leave the back door open, it still is responding to him and sending him information. And as she's kind of preparing all this information to send you what they know as the schedule for where the stray light is going to be, because the stray light as a station moves from planet to planet. Levi, you notice that there's somebody actually actively using the backdoor connection, which you've just introduced into her, onto her tablet. And as the data is kind of coming in and you're digging in, you see that there's a very distinct signature that indicates that it's being hacked by Stev.
I want to hack Stev.
Okay. How are you going to do this?
Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find all the information. So basically whatever Stev is doing, I'm going to, if he's using proxies and all that kind of stuff, like jump around and trying to find information similar to what I did with Darla, But what I'm going to do this time is that I am going to manifest a bounty for 200 credits for Stev using his information. And I'm going to find the most unflattering photo.
Okay.
It's the photo of Switch, but with Stev's head on it.
Yes.
Interesting. Steph, you went pantsless at one point. I'm really sorry you went bottomless at some other point in the story.
It's okay.
It's actually that picture. It's the picture from like a security camera.
I changed the background from the engine room, though.
Shirt cocking it.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So as you're doing this, what do you think the position here is?
It could be risky. It could be desperate because we're doing this in the back door. So it's going from the leaking to the back door, and then we're both in the back door right now, right? And then we have to get out of the back door because we keep going in and out of this back door.
Does your back door get leaky when there's a lot of action?
Yeah, that's everyone's back door.
All right. Anyways, all right. So I think it's risky. I don't think it's desperate because there's not a life or death risk to your backdoor being leaky.
I think the effect would be great if I'm making a bounty out of nothing with his information. And I also want to shut him out too. So,
except that you're not clear on the amount of resources that Stev has. So I'm not sure if it's that.
Okay.
So let's call it normal.
Standard. Okay.
Sorry, standard.
All right. There's nothing else I want to add to it. It's going to be a normal roll.
Okay. What else?
Well, actually, I'm going to use my special. Is that giving me an extra dice or no?
It can't.
No, just...
Oh.
It nullifies the negative effect? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to use my special armor. That's it. That's all I want to do.
All right, do it.
654.
Fucking rolls today. I swear to God. All right. So as you're kind of doing this, you start the process, right? You're able to get Stev's image. You're able to kind of like, reverse hack him and set up the wanted ad. And you're also able to deny him taking information from her tablet. And you're kind of doing all of this, and Siri steps in, of course, and starts harassing you about it. But while she's harassing you, she also gives you a little bit of help to kind of, because she realizes that that this is an element of risk introduced to her as well. Mm-hmm. But as you're doing it, you're able to trace back some information about Stev. Ooh. And kind of like, as it's like you're kind of like navigating your way through, and just kind of like apparently I have space bar, and it muted me. Apparently, as you're kind of navigating it back, you're able to kind of track the general sort of like network that it's he's actually operating from. Mm-hmm. And as you do that, you kind of zero in, and you find out, roundabout ways, that he's actually working from a hegemony location and is working for House Malclef. And that's where we're going to end it.
Oh, yes. Good end. Good end. Good episode.
Fancy business. I'm punching stuff to next week. That's going to be great. Guys, this was episode 6. We have 3 more episodes this season, and we are starting back with season 2 of Blaze of Glory Hole 2, Cosmic Boogaloo, the recoming. In October 7th?
Does that involve backdoors? And
it could. Who knows? front doors, back doors, who the hell knows?
Side
Either
doors,
way, you can
trap
find
doors.
us. You can find us coming in your doors for the next 3 weeks, and then for another 12 weeks in October. You're welcome, Sam. This has been a show. Let's go around and do our introductions, get the hell out of here, and go raid some awesome people. We'll start with, Mick Loken and his back doors. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm Mick Loken. If I just want to, do kind of a PSA. If you do have a backdoor, make sure you're careful with it because it can get leaky. Now, there's some normal things that you can do to prevent this, such as eating Pringles potato chips or lots of cheese. But
I hear that you can also caulk your back door.
Yeah, if you cock it too much, it can do a reverse effect. But
you don't want to overcock your back door.
Yeah, if you overcock your back door, I mean, then it's hard to shut the back door.
Mm-hmm.
Then that kind of stuff happens. But my name's Mick Loken. Hi, I'm generally on shows all around Twitch. I stream sometimes. I have to get into my map making stream. I haven't found a setup that works yet, so I'm still working on that. But yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. Let's jump right over to Sam. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
I am Sam, twitch.tv/WizenFool, Twitter @TheWizenFool. I think that for those out there who like the musical references, I think that over the credits we have "Rockin' in the Free World" by Neil Young to go with our very like anti going legitimate, anti-establishment vibe. We wanna be a free. We don't want to be playing by the rules. We want to be, smugglers, not some legitimate business out here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing starting next Sunday. We're going to be playing some Game of Thrones RPG over on AP Game and Reels channel with Johnny down there, and so that's going to be good. We should have a lot of fun doing that, and then I'll be right back here for more talking my way out of trouble.
Yeah, more or less. And speaking of Johnny being down there, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
My name is Johnny. I'm Video Store Cowboy everywhere. I will be with Sam over on AP Gaming on Sunday. Otherwise, I'll be creating characters on my own channel all this week because I neglected to actually do any character creation streams for the Game of Thrones game last week. So I'll be doing it all this week. And just a final PSA, if you are having trouble with your backdoor, there are plenty of products out there to help with all of that, but the most basic one is the finger. So just go ahead and
block it up like a sinking ship.
Oh my lord!
Like a sinking ship. Speaking of sinking ships, this we're going down with this one. If you guys want to support the channel and whatever the hell this was, please go check out our Patreon. That is the best way to do that. And if you want to join the conversation, talk about backdoors, our Discord is always open and available for you to slide into. With that, we're gonna go raid our friends over at Tales from the Grim, Grimjack21502, doing his fun stuff, playing some Urban Shadows. Go check those guys out and give them all of your hot, sticky backdoor raid love. And we will see you next week with more Blaze of Glory Hole. Bye-bye.